Okej, kolejny epizod leci. Lecimy. Zobaczymy o co chodzi z jedzeniem w samolocie. Nie robimy tego żartu. Okej. Dzisiaj zamierzam sobie rozwalić głos. Out the familiar, the smell of blood invades the room. I try to stand, but my knees are weak. Leona is cowering in the corner, and Victoria's bloody body is in front of me. She just left the room. How could this have happened in just a minute or two? Eventually the others arrive. What? Victoria? She just left the room. What the hell happened? How? I don't understand. She came in she came in and the lights went out and they turned on and I can't wrap my mind around this. What the hell happened? A murder, that's what! It's that time again. You guys have to find out who killed Victoria. Then I guess we should start investigating, right? Yes, sir! Yes, sirree. Good luck. You'll need it. Investigate. Okay, team, let's do this. I'm not a fan of how quickly we've gotten used to this. It's like we don't even have time to mourn. We can mourn later. For now, we have to solve this. And Maya, don't push yourself too hard, right? Hunter and I are here to make sure you don't have to do all the work yourself. Got it, we can do this. File now. Alrighty, Missy, no need to be so aggressive. Wydaje mi się, jak po prostu puste są teraz te dialogi i wytłumaczenie dla nich jest, wytłumaczenie dla pustości dialogów jest takie, że no, już się przyzwyczailiśmy, że ludzie umierają, jakby nie, każda śmierć będzie boleć od tego momentu, powinna boleć i to jest coś, czego tutaj nie robią ewidentnie. Czekajcie, sprawdzę jeszcze tylko, czy się nagrywa w ogóle to na ty. Okej, nagrywa się na ty. Wait, muszę coś... Okej, dobra, chyba nie było nic widać. O Jezus. Dobra. Chroma hands Chroma files to Hunter 4 and I. The body was discovered at 7:02 p.m. The cause of death was blood loss from a throat injury. The time of death was 7 p.m. So basically nothing new. Could have easily inferred all of that. I mean, I guess we are sure about the cause of death, right? Yeah, focus on the positives. Chroma files and the truth bullet. Hey, check this out. What is it? Look like glow in the dark point. That sounds pretty relevant. Glow in the dark paint. Okay. Oh yeah, when I came in the lights were off and I noticed something weird. What was it? There was a word on the canvas that she's up against and it was glowing in the dark. What was that word? It was bluebird. I mean, I'm not sure what it means, but I'm sure I saw it. We should keep it in mind. Bluebird. So I think we already know the murder weapon, right? Seems like it. An arrow, right? Like the kind you shot from a bow. Yes, Maya. Może być aż? Wydaje mi się, że on był chyba na górze. W każdym razie... Strzała mi się bardzo kojarzy. Ej, w ogóle... O mój Boże, strzała, 4. trial, wszystko się zgadza. Dobra, nieważne. Wracamy do tego. Yeah, okej. Może coś w basenie się stało? Oczywiście, że nie. Why would it be? I hate seeing Victoria like that, with that arrow sticking out of her neck. Seeing this kind of thing over and over again, it's getting to be too much for me. Wow. I don't even know what happened. She came in and then a minute later she was... Leona, what did you see after Victoria came into the room? I was drawing in the art room and I guess I got so into it that I forgot to meet everyone else. When Victoria came in to get me and the lights turned off, that was when we saw that word, Bluebird. I asked what it was and she didn't answer and I heard her walk over to it. I think she stepped in front of it because a shadow covered it up. But at that moment, something weird happened. What was it? It was a light. For a split second, I saw a small light coming from around the ceiling. But then it disappeared real quickly. And I heard a flashy sound, which was probably, you know, then the lights turned on and she was dead. Okej, to bardzo jest możliwe, że to jest Caesar. Jestem niemal na 100% pewny teraz w tym momencie. Zwłaszcza, że ona nie została jakby już wychodząc z pokoju. Wychodząc z pokoju była jeszcze okej. Jak przeszła do pokoju, też była jeszcze okej. Dopiero dostała właśnie już w tym pokoju, czyli to musiał być Caesar, po prostu przybiegł, wystrzelił strzałą w jej szyję i ją zajebał po prostu. Też nie znała jakiś jego sekret czy coś, to był jego motyw. Zakładam, że o to chodzi. No, świetnie. Interesting. We may be able to use that as a count. Armory. Coś jest. Victoria shouldn't have died. Victoria shouldn't have died. Nobody should have died. Yeah, you're the killer. Hey, I saw Victoria being suspicious, and I figured you guys might wanna know about it. What was it? After training, she would stay up later than everyone else, and sometimes she wouldn't even go to her room until past midnight. It might have something to do with the case. That does sound pretty suspicious. We will keep it up in mind. Caesar's account added to the truth book. Don't you think it's kind of weird that this place is just an armory? Isn't it supposed to be a school? Yeah, most schools don't have these. I guess Freedom Academy is pretty special. It's pretty well equipped too. They got just about everything: swords, knives, bows, chainsaws. Some of these don't even sound useful as conventional weapons. Guess it's good to have plenty of tools at your disposal. Armory. I'm assuming the lights going out have something to do with Victoria's murder, but I'm trying to figure out how. There's no way someone could have snuck out of the room and murdered her in that short of time, right? Caesar can. Hey, do you think the flashlights might factor into this? I wouldn't eliminate that as a possibility. How do they work again? I never used mine that much. You basically apply force to the end of it and it lights for a few seconds. They suck, I hate them. The fact that someone out there designed such an inconvenient flashlight infuriates me. When we get out, I'm going to find the person who designed those flashlights and make them pay. Four looks really mad. Flashlights are the truth bullets. Hey, when the lights went out, did you hear anything? Yeah, actually it sounded like metal clanking. Perhaps it has something to do with the murder. I don't really see how clanking noise in here led to Victoria getting an arrow in her neck in the other room. We can't rule out any possibilities, no matter how unlikely. I guess. Mysterious sound. Hey, Karukuma told me something that might be pretty important. What is it? So, I guess the walls of the armory are supposed to be soundproof. And it's supposed to be pretty damn good. Good enough that you can't hear guns being fired and that kind of thing. I guess that makes sense. Nobody liked the sound of gunfire. It does make some of the things that happened kinda suspicious though. We should keep it in mind. Soundproof walls. Hey, if it's any help, I remember a kinda minor detail that might be important. What is it? I remember who it was that used their flashlight. I don't know if it's like important, but who knows. But nothing, tell us. The people to use their flashlights were Koji, Caesar, and you. Because you masz na myśli kogo? And also Caesar? I did indeed use my flashlight. Why is this important? I mean, it seems like the only rooms that had activity were the armory and the art room. So we should pay attention to anything that happened in those rooms, right? Precisely. Armory lights added to truth bullets. Może Koji jest jednak mordercą? Pojawiam. Chyba raczej nic nie będzie więcej, co nie? It's clean again. Are you guys ready? I think so. It looks like we've gathered everything that we can. Now I guess we just need to put everything together in this trial. We don't stand in front of the trial door, the usual spot. That's when to go to the trial room place and people start showing up. Once everyone arrives, we all enter the door. Looking down the hall and into the expansive trial room, we can feel our nerves at an all-time high. Although every case, this one has left us baffled. How could Victoria have died in such a short time? Wow! Stała ósemka. Mało nas, bardzo mało nas. Oj, to jest kapem, że została połowa osób. Tak wiem, jestem okropny, jem właśnie jabłko na nagraniu. We all find our spots in the ring, now able to face each other. The room feels so much bigger now, with so many of us gone, and with each of us looking back and forth with the faint, brave faces. It's now or never now. So many good characters dead. Duża szansa, że to jest. Duża teraz szansa na to, że to jest Ash albo Caesar, bo ktoś stąd musi zniknąć z tej planszy. A Deadly Light. No Meja to na pewno nie jest. Luna wątpię, żeby to była kogoś i też raczej nie. A Deadly Message. No ten raczej nie umrze stąd. A Deadly Trial. I'll take it all on. Trial start. Let's start with the basics. Nie. But if... nie. Where do we even start? Maybe we should try to figure out how she was killed in the first place. You were the only one in the room with her. You should know who did it, right? Unless, of course, it was you. Let's not immediately start pointing fingers like that. I doubt that this will be that easy. Easy? So the first thing we should figure out was how it could have been possible for her to die in such a short amount of time, right? Alright, this is where the things get serious. Gotta get my head in the game. So we should approach this from the angle that there was some way to reach the art room from a different room. That is, unless Leona did it, then she had easy access to Victoria. Hey, there's no way I did it! Yeah, she's way too short. Proceed. Now, you're just being mean, this is serious. Maybe there was some kind of a trap set. Victoria tripped it somehow. The issue with that is that we didn't find any evidence that there was any kind of trap. He's right, okay. Proceed. Agree. I mean, she's gonna use a chair or something. Okay. Proceed. 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 You'd have to be real smart to set up something like that. Don't compliment the killer. Maybe the art room and the armory are connected or something. Agree. The two rooms are connected. How would we not have noticed it? I'm not sure why we didn't find anything, but there's a lot of evidence that points to the fact that there's something connecting the two rooms. Evidence like what? We heard noises. Smell of blood. We were able to hear Leona screaming from the art room, even though the walls are supposed to be soundproof. There is no way the sound could have gotten through the doors, since both the armory door and the art room door were closed. The voice could have been muffled. Should have been muffled. So that must mean there was some kind of passage that allowed the sound to get through. So it was a passage that we couldn't find but allowed Leona's scream to be heard. How could something like that be used to kill Victoria? That's what we need to figure out. So we need to think about how this hypothetical passage could have been used to kill Victoria. Doesn't this seem a bit sketchy? Any possibility is worth pursuing. I couldn't have said it any better. If there's a chance, we have to take it. So we just need to figure out how the specialist might have allowed someone to kill Victoria. Okay, think about all of the factors that I know of. The murder weapon, the placement of the body. Even if there was some kind of passage between the art room and armory, there is no way they could have crawled right through, right? Proceed. I feel like that would be so uncomfortable. Crawling to a secret passage in the dark. Kia? Proceed. Hey, if she was killed with an arrow, maybe they just shot through it. That might be it, yeah. Aż coś jest za bardzo pomocny. Wydaje mi się, że on może nie być zabójcą. Chyba zostaje Caesar dalej. Huh? You're suggesting that the killer just shot through the secret passage and hit her? Is that even possible? Think about it like this. You don't know the shape of the passage. I see, so you're suggesting that the passage was just a straight shot into the art room. But how? Where would it even be? Maybe it was behind one of the boards that holds up all the weapons. If you slide it out of the way, maybe it reveals the passage. So, if the passage is straight shot from the armory, the art room, where would it be located? Exactly. How could something like that even be possible? I suppose we should discuss where the passage was located and how it could lead to the art room. So, if you're operating on the basis what the arrow was simply shot straight to the passage, where would the entrance and exit be? There's no way that anyone besides the killer would know that. I mean, yeah. If they wanted a good view, maybe it was an aerial view, so it would be from the ceiling. But if you think about it, wouldn't it be easier to shot from up close? Wouldn't it be easier at the eye level? Agree. I don't have any proof that it was at the eye level. I'm just spitballing here, huh? Okay. No. Wait, ceiling? Co? Chyba nie rozumiem do końca tego. Myślałem, że to jest Caesar faktycznie, ale teraz mam trochę wątpliwości. Zresztą może tak okazać się Caesar, tylko po prostu w innym stopniu. So, you're saying it was an aerial view. Do you have any proof? I might not have proof, but Leona does. Huh? Didn't you tell me about seeing a light near the ceiling around when Victoria was killed? Oh yeah, you're right. That light must have come from the armory. So it was the light came through the passage and it came from the ceiling. That must mean the passage entrance must be on the second floor of the armory, right? That's right. If it were on the first floor of the armory, you would only be shooting the ceiling. Yeah, just like, something like that, but yeah, kąt trochę się nie zgadza, ale dobra, jebać. So, someone on the top floor had to have used it, but that's impossible! Sorry for interrupting you, Hunter. But anyway, there's no way they could shot from that distance in the dark, and if they really used the flashlight to aim, Leona would have seen it, right? I guess I would. I guess it does seem a bit far-fetched to think they shot her from that distance in the dark. Was it possible for them to shot her in the dark like that? I don't think I should give up on this line of thought. If I want to prove that the passage really was straight line, I gotta figure out how they were able to hit her. Wiem, napis biały. Think about it, all of us were in the dark. There's no way to hit her without some kind of light. Proceed. And even if they had a light, chances are Leona probably would have seen it. Proceed. Yeah, the more I think about it, we really are thinking about this wrong. There's no way they could have seen that Victoria was disputed. No, that's wrong. You're wrong. There is a way that they could have determined Victoria's position. What? How? Leona, the lights went out. You noticed something else in the room that was strange, right? Maybe a glowing word of some sort? You're right, it was the word Bluebird. I remember she seemed really upset and walked over to it. So she probably walked in front of it. That means that the killer saw something walking in front of the words and knew when to shoot. So this murder was way more planned out than we thought. And now that we know that what floor it was on, we know who our suspects are, right? Yeah, I don't think anyone changed which floor they were on, so it had to have been someone on the top floor. That people on the top floor were Caesar, Oliver and me. Okej, czyli 3 dupkowate z początku postacie, o które się boję teraz. Bo nie chcę, żeby którykolwiek z nich umarł, ale podejrzewam bardzo mocno, że to jest Caesar. Me. So it seems likely that one of you three are the culprit. I know it wasn't me. There is no way I could have done it. It wasn't me. You assholes better not try to pin this on me. I'm sure if we inspect the details of this case, we can eliminate suspects. So it's suspect elimination time. We've only got 3, so it shouldn't be too hard, right? There's gotta be something that we can use to cut off suspects, right? Maybe the weapon. If they were shooting an arrow, they would need both hands, right? Okej, od razu mi to dało. Nieważne, chciałem przerwać, ale dobra. Agree. That's right, we can use the weapon as evidence. Think about how you shoot the bow and arrow. Oh yeah, you need 2 hands, right? One to hold the bow and the other to pull back the strings. I remember when I was a boy scout we tried archery. I ended up nearly shooting my scout leader's eye out, though. Wait, how exactly can we use this to eliminate suspects? That's an easy one. Flashlights. The flashlights. Oh yeah, we know who was definitely holding flashlights, because they were the ones using them. The one who used flashlights were Koji, Caesar, and I. So if we cross that with the people that were on the upper floor, we can determine that Caesar couldn't have shot the arrow. I told you! Okej, to może nie być Caesar, ale w takim razie to jest Oliver albo Ash. Asha by bardziej wolał. Tylko, że Ash za bardzo pomaga tutaj, więc to musi być Oliver, halo. I told you! Zresztą to dalej może być w sumie Oliver, a czy to dalej może być Caesar, in my opinion. So now we just have to decide between those two. I need to think about what we know so far and decide who I want to interrogate. I think it was... I want this to be Ash. Hold it! I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think you guys have something wrong. Huh? What is it? Well, it's about that arrow. It's not an arrow at all. Not an arrow? Oh my god, he really is an idiot. Koji, what the hell are you talking about? Of course it's an arrow. Anyway, you should move on. Obviously, Koji doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey guys, don't be dicks. Let's hear him out. Koji is way smarter than you guys give him credit for. I'm sure he has some kind of explanation. Bro. Bro. Oh yeah, the arrow. It's not an arrow. It's a bolt, like from crossbow. Yeah, that's right. Łukiem ciężko by było to zrobić, faktycznie. Łuk nie jest aż taki silny, żeby kogoś wbić w portret, a to się właśnie stało, więc to już też wydało podejrzane, że przez moment bolts i arrowsy to są kompletnie dwie różne rzeczy, więc to good job Koji, że a crossbow? How would you even know that? Easy, I used to be hunting with my dad. We would use all kinds of stuff, including crossbows. But does that make a difference? Don't you still need 2 hands for a crossbow? Well, not exactly. Czy tak może być Caesar? And also... Also what? Not necessarily. If it's small enough and you have the right arm strength, you can shoot with just 1 hand. All that you would need to do is make sure it's preloaded. Now that I think about it, I think I might have seen a preloaded crossbow when we went in. I thought it was strange, but brushed it off. It was a smaller one too, probably easier to shoot with one hand. So the killer used a crossbow? So we're back at square one. Hey, now that we know it was a crossbow, maybe we can see if there's anything that we can apply that knowledge to. What do you mean? Well, if we go on the assumption that the crossbow was used, maybe it can explain some of the stuff we don't have an explanation for. An explanation? Like what? That's what we gotta figure out. We need to find our real suspect. Okay, time to figure this out. I think we've nearly sniffed out the killer. There has to be some kind of proof that someone used the crossbow. Maybe somebody heard something. Proceed. What about when the lights turn back on? Did anyone see anything? Proceed. What about where the crossbow was? Maybe we can use their position. Okay. Then again, I don't actually remember which port it was on. Fuck you! Yeah. Yeah, someone heard something. What we heard? Did we hear something? Do you remember when we heard that clanging sound when the lights went out? Well, I think we have an explanation for it. A crossbow. So the noise was crossbow. Aha. A flashlight. It was a flashlight. Flashlight? Flashlights only turn on when you apply force to them. If you shot someone with a bolt and assume none of us know the difference between an arrow and a bolt, it would make sense to use the flashlight as an alibi. You can't use your other hand as a way to apply force, so if you hit it against something like that wall or the railing, it would make a clanging noise. So if the one with the crossbow had a flashlight and was on the top floor, there's only one person who matches the description. And it's fucking Caesar! Here we go! Wiedziałem, że to jest on. Szkoda. Szkoda, bardzo kurwa szkoda. Oj chuj szkoda. Oj zajebiście szkoda. W takim razie idziemy sypować do Olivera i... Chyba tylko Olivera. No ten następny chapter będzie cool. Caesar. It was you, wasn't it? Of course not. Of course not. Think about it though. Who were two other suspects? Ash and Oliver. You all saw how they did in the training exercises. Do you really think they have the strength to lift a crossbow with one hand and shot it with accuracy? Hey now! You're an all-star. Get your claymore. You, on the other hand, we all saw how athletic you are, which surprises all of us. Not to mention, you're the only one who still hasn't told us your talent. Your entire identity is shrouded in mystery. Who are you, Caesar? So you're silent. I guess I'm not surprised. Then I guess it's that time again. I'm going to prove that you did it by going through this entire crime and showing you what happened. Fa pa pa. O nie, on ma jednak twarz! O nie, jak to się stało? The crime all begins with the setup. You started off in the armory. And there you used... Aha, fuck, zjebałem już na początku, dobra, przejdźmy to, bo zjebałem. The crime all begins with the setup. You started with the art room. And there you used glow-in-dark paint to write the word Bluebird. The next room you went was the armory. In that room you carved a secret passage, preloaded a crossbow. I don't think he carved that. Preloaded the crossbow. He also made sure that you knew the location of a secret passage. Here's how it went down. You went to the art room where you painted Bluebird in glow-in-dark paint. After that, you made sure the canvas was positioned in view of the secret passage so that you would have a clear shot. From there, you moved your preparations to the armory. You made sure there was a preloaded crossbow that you could point and shoot with accuracy, then made sure it was close to the passage. And that's when the plan was ready to be put into action. Round 2. Later that night, during the training, Victoria went to the art room to get Leona. When the lights went out, the one who approached the glowing word Bluebird was Victoria. When she walked in front of it, you saw the shadow and pulled out a crossbow. Then you shot it through the passage, which had an entrance located on the first floor, second floor. Entrance on the second floor. And here's how you committed the murder. Victoria went into the art room to retrieve Leona, but then the lights went out. With this reveals the glowing bluebird on the canvas, which promoted Victoria to go and investigate. When you saw the shadow cross in front, you pulled out your preloaded crossbow and shot through the secret passage located on the second floor. Round 3. And here's how you covered it up. Our flashlights turn on when we press a switch, apply a force. When operating the crossbow, you used one hand. While you were holding the crossbow, you also had another railing turned into the flashlight. In order to turn on the flashlight, you hit it, smacking its railing, smacked it. You hit it against the railing. Here's how you disguise yourself. You see, our flashlights are unique in that turn them on, you have to apply force to them, which turns them on for a few seconds. I'm strong enough to hold this crossbow with one hand, while still being able to accurately aim, which allowed you to still hold onto the flashlight. In order to make us think you couldn't shot anything, you hit the flashlight again with the railing, turning it in and showing us all that you were carrying it. However, once we realized that it wasn't a regular bow, but a crossbow, and that the clanging noise came from a flashlight, you didn't stand a chance. The most reasonable explanation behind this murder is that you were the culprit. Girl. And what of it? Będę dalej zrobił mu taki, melancholijny głos. I odkrywa swoje usta i są faktycznie nie jest robotem. I'm fucking disappointed. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. That's it. And what of it? So what if I killed her? She killed hundreds of people. It's karma, clean and simple. This is the loudest I ever seen him. No, I'm still quiet. What's going on with his teeth? Let me guess. You guys want an explanation, I'm assuming. I guess we can play this out like we usually do. Maya, just do your thing. If it doesn't make me feel guilty, at least I will let me live a few more minutes. He doesn't feel guilty, yet he's accepted that he did it. What's going on? Alright, I'll lay out the entire crime and show you exactly what he did. Showtime! Well, the crime wouldn't truly come from fruition until the night that it happened. The preparation started earlier than that. Started by finding glow-in-the-dark paint in our art room. Using that paint, you wrote the word Bluebird on the canvas and positioned it in the path of the secret passage found in the second floor of the armory. The next thing you did was prepare your murder weapon. You settled on a crossbow that was light enough for you to hold with one hand while staying accurate. As the crossbow bolt, hoping that people would assume it was a standard arrow, which you need two hands to shoot. This shows exactly how premeditated this crime was. Every detail had to be perfect to get the perfect shot, to get that perfect shot. I mean, spoko. Tylko, że przewidziałem to już od samego początku. W inny sposób kompletnie, ale przewidziałem zabójcę bardzo łatwo. Jakby to było dosyć obvious. Daje za dużo hintów na niego podczas poprzednich rzeczy, więc no. Later that night we had training just like the nights before. Leona was in the art room, so Victoria went to go get her. However, once she got to the art room, that's when it became time to carry out the murder. He looked through the secret passage so that the word Bluebird was in full view. Then when he saw Victoria's silhouette cross in front of it, with full confidence that you hit her, you began to construct your alibi. You took your flashlight, which requires force to turn on, and smacked it against the railing, making a loud clanging noise. When people saw you turn on your flashlight, that could see that you were carrying it in one hand. They never would have thought that you were carrying a crossbow out of sight, hidden in the shadows. That's why the killer has to be you. Oh, his teeth are yeah, ma dziwne zęby. Caesar, if that's even your real name. Still don't feel guilty. So are you going to explain yourself or not? Yeah, of course. But don't you think we should vote first? We have to do this in proper order, don't we? Does it matter? Listen, I'm about to die. Throw me a bone here. I guess we should vote then. I'll calmly comply and the voting devices rise up, just like the past 3 times. Everyone places their votes. Caesar wears an expression of confidence, satisfaction. I can't even read his face, considering I haven't fully seen it until now. Eventually all the votes are placed and Kurokoma reads them aloud. You all voted for Caesar. The super high skill level, well, I'll let him tell you that. And you were correct. So it really was him. It's always the quiet ones. Shut up! Już sobie zdałem sprawę, że znowu nie mam postaci, do której mam podkładać głos. Świetnie. Kocham tą grę. Naprawdę. I guess it's time for the standard killer explanation. I'll start with my talent. I'm the super high skill marksman. I have perfect aim with bows, rifles, you name it. Marksman, why didn't you tell us? It's good to hold onto some info, right? If I ever decide to kill, I could use it to my advantages. I guess it didn't save me in the end though. What about your name? Is Caesar your real name? Yes, my name really is Caesar, no last name. That ties to where I was raised, a military base dedicated to creating adept child soldiers. Child soldiers? It was a small foreign group with very few men. This meant that they trained us to fight from the age we could walk. We were stripped of all individuality, forced to have the same haircuts, clothes, everything. It was horrible. We were barely fed and had to go through grueling training day in, day in and out. It felt never ending. The only ease of my suffering was the other kids there. We were friends, but in secret, exchanging jokes in private, playing games when nobody was watching. They were the only ones I could confide in, my fellow captives, my family. I was a child soldier, just like Victoria. And soldiers fight. The army was fighting against us, and they were prepared to attack. Operation Bluebird, Victoria's deadliest military assault. Spodziewałem się, że Bluebird będzie nawiązany do czegoś innego. Ale okej, niech już będzie, whatever. She personally commanded the deaths of hundreds of people, regardless of who they were. That included all the child soldiers in the base. Children, she killed children. All of my friends died that day. I was one of the only survivals. That completely eradicated the rebel group. I was left homeless, without friends or family. Years I spent wandering without anything to keep me going except the hope for survival. That is, until I was scouted by Freedom Academy. I guess they found the only records from the military base and decided to hunt me down. I decided to enroll, but you all know how that turned out. Did you know that Victoria was behind Operation Bluebird this entire time? How long have you been planning this? I actually found out only recently. Do you remember how I said that Victoria was staying out late after training? I know that because I was the one she was talking to. It started with her asking where I had trained, but eventually we both got into our pasts. We realized how much we had in common, and I was ready to become friends with her, but then she mentioned Operation Bluebird. Her greatest regret, she went on and about how guilty she felt, the deaths of all those kids waiting on her. She said she wished she had disobeyed orders and pulled back her troops. Pretty nice sentiment. But sentiment won't bring my family back. Nothing is more satisfying than revenge. Everyone I ever loved died that day. Even as I face death right now, I regret nothing. This entire time I stayed as silent as possible, trying not to open up, trying not to leave myself vulnerable to anything. I knew from the second that the announcement was made that most of us were going to die. I don't want to get attached to corpses again. So I'll be going out with no regrets. You don't have any regrets? I suppose my one regret is what I couldn't see Victoria's face when she realized she had been shot to the throat. None of us know what to say. Can we really fully condemn him? Victoria led the assault that killed everyone he knew. She didn't have a choice in that matter. Both of them were put in positions where they had to kill each other, ordered by people controlling their every move. Their lives were treated like pawns on a chessboard, and left both of them cracked and traumatized. I'm sorry, Caesar. Huh? Wow, what are you sorry for? You were suffering this entire time and I couldn't even help. You and Victoria both. Neither of you had the chance to live normally. War is a human constant. We never stood a chance. We were doomed to be broken. Counter! That's not true. Of course it is. Of course it's true. Humans have always fought each other. That's just life. Then I will prove it to you. We're going to get out of here and we're gonna make a world where we don't have to fight. For you and Victoria and all the other people that were destroyed by fighting. I appreciate it. I hope you guys succeed. Good luck. Get out of here for me and Victoria. I can't say I feel guilty about killing her, but I think I can finally understand how she felt. Enough with the heart to heart. It's punishment time, you hear? Guess I don't have as much time as I thought. We've prepared a very special punishment for Caesar, super high school marksman. I think, in another word, are you ready? You could have all been pretty good friends. Let's do this! Just like we've seen before, Caesar stands in a dark room. He looks around, checking his surroundings for any immediate danger. Suddenly, a perfectly white deer runs by, but before Caesar can react, it disappears. However, Caesar realizes that he's holding something. It's a hunting rifle. Caesar takes aim and starts looking around frantically. He looks through the scope, going back and forth and back and forth. And there it is. Caesar and the white deer make eye contact for an impossibly long moment. Caesar prepares to pull the trigger, but then his eyes go wide and he realizes the deer has rammed its horns directly through his throat, with one of the ends even shouting out of his mouth. What the fuck? That's terrible. Blood splatters around him and the deer pulls back and vanishes into the darkness. Caesar collapses, bleeding out. Eventually, his body goes still. I can never get used to this. Another one of us is gone. I don't know who I'm supposed to feel bad for. If you think about it, they were both victims. Both of them were forced to fight from a young age, manipulated and coerced? I don't know this word. Into a war they didn't believe in. As long as people at the top don't fight their own battles, the people below them will be used as powers. It's sickening. Then I'm going to keep my promises to him. I want to make a world where we don't have to kill each other. That's a world I can get behind. Yeah, let's get out of here so we can make it a reality. A world without war. Is that even impossible? It doesn't matter if it's possible or not. We're gonna make it happen. You guys are so naive. I think it's a worthwhile go. We'll get out of here and give them hell. Yeah, I'm pumped up. We're not just gonna survive, we're gonna kick this place ass. Damn right. I guess it's worth a shot. That's what I'm talking about. Our numbers are growing smaller, but we're getting closer to the end. I can feel it. Those of us still alive are interrogated by the memories of those that lost their lives. We will live on for them. We will show the people keeping us here that this world is ours to shape. They can't make our world into whatever sick vision they have of it. We can't take it back. Mari and August, Ricardo and Cami, Chetko, Kona and Tamako, Victoria and Caesar. We will make an ideal world so that you guys can be proud of us. Chapter 4? Aha, tak, w sensie tak. Trial 4 to na chapter, tak. Chyba koniec. Chciałem coś do powiedzenia. Szkoda, że Caesar umarł. Szkoda, że miał taką zjebaną fabułę. Szczerze, mogło być to lepiej zrobione. I mean, dalej jest cool postacią, dalej go szanuję, więc w moim top 5 przynajmniej na pewno. Czekaj. Tamako, Chet, Caesar, Oliveria, o ile nie zabije w następnym trialu. Bo nie zginie. Może. Ricardo, jeszcze zapomniałem o Ricardo, właśnie. Poczekaj. Tamako, Chet, Ricardo, Caesar i Oliver. Jak oni wszyscy umrą, bo jeszcze Oliver mi tylko został tak naprawdę. Jak oni wszyscy umrą, no to... A raczej umrą, bo For, Koji, Mea i Hunter raczej nie umrą, więc będą w pierwszej piątce. Więc teraz... Znaczy w piątce, która przeżyje. Albo szóstce? Aha, czekaj, nie, w piątce, która przeżyje. Wait, czekaj. Tak, w piątce, która przeżyje, to tak. Mea, For, Hunter, Koji. To jest 4. No i teraz zostaje Luna, Ash i Leona, Ash i Oliver. No i 2 osoby z tej trójki umrą i zostanie 1. Albo Luna, albo Ash, albo Oliver będzie w tej piątce. I teraz jeszcze 1 osoba z tych będzie mastermindem. Prawdopodobnie. Kto? Ash? Oliver? Hunter? Koji? Nie wiem, jak oni chcą to rozegrać, naprawdę nie wiem. Ja tutaj to kończę. Nie wiem, może sobie znowu zrobię przerwę i zobaczymy się jeszcze później, albo skończę to jakby wszystko w jednym rzędem. Jeszcze zobaczymy. Zostały mi chyba 3 epizody chyba? Aż sprawdzę. Tak, 3 epizody mi zostały. Śmierć, kolejna osoba umrze, trial i zakończenie jakieś. Tak, zakończenie jest nieco dłuższe niż ten. Dobra, to ja się z wami żegnam i zobaczymy się w następnym odcinku. Pa.